Call the member for Fairfield.
Mr. Speaker, government is about protecting, supporting and doing what is right for New South Wales. When I reference New South Wales, I talk about every person in this state. Everyone from the 93 electorates that make up our parliament. From my side of the world, Western Sydney has always been at the forefront of disadvantage. With the onset of the COVID pandemic and the ensuing impacts on our way of life, families are at the brink. The $5 billion WestInvest program was funded by the $20.4 billion sale of the WestConnex motorway by the previous New South Wales coalition government. Putting aside the now enduring toll pressures borne by commuters in Western Sydney because of this sale, WestInvest was pitched to us as an opportunity to transform Western Sydney, to help our vulnerable, make lives better, and boost the economic profile of our most disadvantaged areas to support recovery post-COVID. Yet the reality could not be further from the truth. WestInvest was split into two tranches, $2 billion for council and community projects within 15 local government areas, and $3 billion for New South Wales government projects across Western Sydney. My focus tonight relates to that $2 billion allocation by the previous New South Wales coalition government. To put it bluntly, I calculated that out of the 15 local government areas, the top 3 most disadvantaged areas, according to the Australian Bureau of Statistics, Fairfield, Cumberland and Canterbury Bankstown, were 3 of the 4 local government areas to be allocated the least WestInvest funding per capita. My electorate covering both Fairfield and Canterbury Bankstown received an average allocation of $262 per person, compared to the average allocation of $1,070 per person for every other local government area. On the other hand, Burwood and Hawkesbury were allocated an average of $2,245 per person, almost 9 times that of my community. I'm all for supporting every local government area in our state, but there is a clear disparity in how the proceeds from WestInvest were distributed. $2 billion is not pocket change. Families work hard to pay their taxes. In return, they deserve a fair investment back into their communities. After all, WestInvest is not the government's money, it's the people's money. I've been told that funding was based on projects that were assessed on merit. I strongly doubt that based on 4 propositions. 1, there is a significant funding disparity amongst local government areas. 2, at least one successful recipient council wants to repurpose their awarded funds to other projects they now deem more suitable. 3, approved projects for funding are now suspected to not be viable. And 4, despite what I just mentioned, other more worthwhile and ready-to-go projects in disadvantaged areas such as Fairfield, Canterbury Bankstown and Cumberland were found not competitive by the previous New South Wales government and therefore rejected. Western Sydney cannot overcome its economic and social challenges when a government treats it like they do via WestInvest. And we will not realise our true potential as a state when we leave communities behind. Public investment decisions must be based on the public interest and not on votes. So I stand here tonight calling out the WestInvest program as grossly unfair. It represents the very opposite of what good government is about, and a wasted opportunity to truly reform Western Sydney. The challenge moving forward is to rectify this imbalance for the benefit of all. That is my mission, and I promise I will do my very best. The Premier and my colleagues are also very attentive in that regard. We all know what is right and what is wrong, and the WestInvest allocations are wrong by any definition of the public interest. Such irresponsible and unfair fiscal management must never happen again.
Well, I thank the member for Fairfield and I call the member for Blacktown in reply.
Thank you, Speaker. I'd just like to commend the member for Fairfield for his strong and passionate speech. especially how WestInvest impacts on his area. In particular, he talked about the allocation by the previous New South Wales government, and to add to what he was talking about, the WestInvest program initially, when it was first released, only gave people about 3 weeks to make a bid. So unsighted, unseen, untold, suddenly the government comes out and tells the entire community, here's $2 billion, make your bid. And then that went on to the second round, where those who had the time within a 3-week period to make a bid, then you had a second round where they had 1 month or so to put a detailed bid in, from whether it was a $50,000 project up to a multi-million-dollar project. The whole project sucks and how it was done, but the member for Fairfield should be commended for holding the previous government to account.